Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification. And I'm just going to keep on bringing you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews. That 40-ish and under dollar range. Most of these are way less than that, and a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. And I got 5 fragrances that I like so much that if I had a bigger audience and I was like a super high-end influencer or something, these things would have probably jacked up in price because I would have hyped them up so much. They're not brand new releases. Just because something's brand new doesn't mean it's the latest and the greatest. Granted, there are a lot of new fragrances that are phenomenal. I'm going to get my hands on them. Trust me, not all of them, but some of the ones. And regardless, these 5 have been overlooked, and it's a shame because I really enjoy these things. In fact, so much they are backup bottle worthy in my collection. I don't have a backup bottle, but I'm sure I'm going to run out of these things. I'm going to have to buy another bottle. But without further ado and too much introduction, let's get into these 5 fragrances that I love that get overlooked. So first up, let's go with from the house of Faconnable, or however you pronounce it. It's a French name. They make like jeans or something back in the day. And my bottle is leaking. The atomizer, I don't know what's going on with it, but I still find ways to apply this thing because I like the way that it smells that much. And if you know me, you know that I love blue fragrances, as generic as it sounds. Gosh, this thing's dripping all over the place. It just started doing this like within the past like minute from carrying it. Faconnable Riviera. Yeah, and I don't want to wipe it all over my hoodie, so we're just gonna leave it alone like that. Atomizer, when you first get it, is actually pretty decent. It's a real fine mist. It takes a little bit of pressure to push it down. It doesn't squirt out a lot, but it's fine. It's kind of like a Banana Republic atomizer. It's similar to that. So basically this one, let me just smell it right off the bottle. It has little bits of like that bubblegummy sweetness with a good dose of woods. There's a little bit of citrus, like orange kind of citrus, and smokiness. There's some masculinity in here. There's some leather and stuff, but mostly what you're going to get is just touches of that sweet, bubblegummy, amber, woody incense, and a little bit of the sweetness from the tangerine or whatever citrus that is, mandarin or tangerine. It's one of the orange citruses in this fragrance. Kind of in the same ballpark as most of your blue fragrances like Dylan Blue and stuff. The performance is better than I had anticipated as far as the projection. So you don't need to spray a whole lot with this one because it's got a pepperiness to it. It's kind of spicy. I forgot to mention that. Ambery, bubblegummy, woody incense, sweet tart mandarin with a good dose of like a peppery, spicy thing. And it could be a little bit offensive if you put too much on for people around you. So just do moderate sprays with this thing. I mean, when I say moderate, I'm a heavy sprayer. You can do 6 to 8 with this thing before you go wherever you're going. Make like half hour before you get there, and it'll calm down nicely and it'll hang on for hours. It's a 6+ hour fragrance on me, and the juice level isn't quite accurate. It's down to here. I've probably taken about this much out of it. That's because I purposely went sparingly on it. I did that with a lot of these because I know that I would just like overwear their welcome. So, however you pronounce it. Faconnable, I think it's Faconnable Riviera. Love that fragrance. So, up next, one that I really think is criminally underrated. I wear this thing and it performs so much better than I thought that it was going to upon first whiff of this thing, and that is Bentley for Men Black Edition. I think this thing is great for what it is. Sweet tangerine, pink pepper, violet, little bits of smokiness and earthy. Man, it's got like touches of sweetness, a little bit of sweetness, some of that violet and smoky. That's like the main things in this. A little bit of woods in the base, but the main players in this is the violet tangerine smoke. It's a green fragrance too. It's not a dark, rich, spicy, woody fragrance. This is more on the green side of things. Greenness, that violet, tangerine, smoky, little bits of wood, some earthy patchouli, some of that rich, damp, dark, earthy patchouli. The performance is way better than I thought it was going to be. It's like a baby beast. It's not like an 8+ hour, but it's a solid 6 to 7 hours, and it'll give me a good scent bubble. This is about knocked up my whole stuff. It'll give me a good scent bubble, like a 2-foot radius scent bubble for like 3 or 4 hours, which is amazing to me. I think that's great. Bentley for men, man. Yeah, I mean those couple sprays, I just smell it just hanging out really good in the air right there. It has great sillage for what it is. Without being some kind of room filler, offensive thing, it's just got great sillage. Again, it's green. It's got that smokiness and a little bit of that sweetness from the tangerine, mandarin, whatever that orange fruit is up, the orange citrus. It's getting late, so I'm like messing up my words and stuff right now. That orange citrus with that smoke, woody, patchouli. Gosh, man. It's good. It's good. I'm just going to keep it at that. PowerPoint presentation, again, not full reviews, just going over these things real quick, just kind of getting them out there. So that's why I'm going to be missing some things that I'm probably would have meant to say later on. I'll go back and watch this and be like, oh yeah, I forgot to say. So forgive me on that. Up next, a fragrance that I actually featured in a video of my favorite fragrances that don't get compliments. I have since then received compliments from this fragrance. I've had it for a few years. It's very universally liked. Everybody I showed it to likes it. The performance is decent. The projection is mild, but the overall longevity is pretty good on this thing. Like I said, super versatile, very easy to like. Borderline crowd pleaser. Abercrombie and Fitch First Instinct Extreme. It's a youthful fragrance, but man, this thing smells super good. It has a mildly sweet tropical star fruit going on in it. Some sparkly, fizzy, like spices. There's like Sichuan pepper in this thing. There's a little bit of that soft, mildly sweet coconut milk in the base. You've got some muskiness, a good dose of muskiness. It's a little bit powdery. It's somewhat sweet. It's tropical. There's some smooth suede sitting down there in the bottom of this. As you can see, I can't stop smelling it. I think this thing is great. So if you don't mind a fairly youthful fragrance, but can be liked by pretty much anybody, this one for $20, you can find this at $20 for Ross. It is really hard to beat this thing. In fact, I've sold a bunch of these because people be looking at Ross and I'll be like, hey, I want to check this one out, because it's hard to smell it when it's in the box. And it's a crowd pleaser. I don't feel bad pointing this one out to people because it's pretty hard not to like this one. Again, it's somewhat sweet, tropical star fruit, a little bit of that fizzy, sparkly spice, powdery, musky. Then it goes down into that somewhat sweet coconut milk suede. That is the main players in this fragrance. Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Extreme. Had to make it on this list. Up next, one that I found at Walmart. When I first got my nose on this thing, I said, you are coming home with me today. All of these are on display, not all of them, but there's several of this line that's on display there. They all smell pretty good. Some are better than others, but this one spoke my language. I'm talking about Dosier's Fougere Pink Pepper. That candied sweet lemon pink pepper combination right up top really spoke my language. It's got a bit of some patchouli. In fact, the notes are right here on the top. I don't know if you're going to be able to read those, but the notes are right there on the top, which makes it helpful. But this also, it almost has like a violet leaf kind of a smell without there being any violet leaf in it. But in fact, let me get this in the air. I just can't stand it no more. Yes. Crispy, somewhat sweet, lemon, pink pepper. There's some mossiness happening in this thing, a little bit of cedar wood. But man, just overall, if you see this one there, just go ahead and spray it. Put it on your skin, see how it vibes with you. The overall performance isn't what I expected it to be because they talk about the concentration on it and stuff like that. I'm really, to be honest, so far not getting more than like 3 or 4 hours, but when I wear this thing, it's just for like my casual daytime stuff. I love the way that this thing smells. I love the way that it smells, and you can see I put a dent in this thing already and I haven't had it that long. So Dosier's Fougere Pink Pepper, another winner in my book from the little Walmart clone house. So up next is one that I've had for quite some time now. The performance on this was quite good. It lasted a good amount of time on me. The opening is a little bit sharp, especially if you do it right off the nose. But if you spray this thing in the air, and I'm talking about Ajmal's Evoke Gold, you get this one going in the air, right? Let me just do myself a favor and do that right now. My goodness, that is gorgeous. Prodalone, that's what they're going after. This one's a little bit sharper in the opening, like a little bit more pepper. But basically, in a nutshell, I'll make this really, really simple. Pepper, powdery, iris. That's mostly what you need to know about this fragrance. Itty bitty bits of sweetness. Peppery, powdery, iris, touch of sweetness. And the dried on it gets a little bit more sweet, but there's really not a whole lot of sweetness. It's dry, iris, powdery, pepper. Just like Prodalone. I'm not going to say a whole lot more about this thing because I don't need to waste my breath on it because that's basically explaining this thing. I love a nice iris note. I love a nice spicy black pepper note. This thing does so well with that. Gotten compliments with this thing. Probably chilling about right here with the juice. I had to slow down on it. Like I said, the performance is good. It's a good, like, you can dress this one up. It's classy. It's a great office fragrance. I think Prodalone was deemed like one of the office kings because it's so inoffensive, but it's not like a super playful compliment like Invictus kind of fragrance. It's way more subdued. It's like in the Dior Homme Intense kind of vein. It's like one of those kind of fragrances. Classy business, but casual, but you can be classy with it type of thing. Mature and grown up. I love this fragrance. I love it. I love it. So that is 5 fragrances that I almost can't live without. If I don't have one of these, I need one that smells very, very close to it to scratch the itch because they kind of spoiled me. Ever since I smelled these things, I kind of jones for these and I reach for them like without even like looking at my collection. They'll just be like running through my head. I'm like, all right, I need to get me some of that in my life and I'll spray it on me. So yeah, Faconnable, Bentley or Faconnable, Bentley, Evoke Gold, Abercrombie and Fitch First Instinct Extreme, and Dosier Fougere Pink Pepper are 5 fragrances that if I could, I would gatekeep. If I could hype them up, I might do that. Who knows? But I'm putting them out there because I love them. So with that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always. And until next time.